Good morning. Today's reading is incredibly long and incredibly detailed, so I'm going to suggest that you skim it. There's two long, well, it's more than two chapters. So 1 Kings 7:13 through 8:21, long reading. That's 1 Kings 7:13 through 8:21. And then 2 Chronicles 5:2 through 6:11. Again, these are long. A lot of time is spent on these pillars. We're not going to pay any attention to that. It's interesting, but we're just not going to pay any attention to it. So go ahead and pause me and skim these verses, and I'll be here when you get back. Okay, so Solomon hires this guy named Hiram, or Huram, who is under the king of Hiram, to do all of this bronze work. And he is of mixed race, which some commentators make a big deal out of, that he really is not qualified to make these things, but he's the most skilled. So Solomon's going for the best. And the first thing that they start talking about is these pillars. Again, the details here are crazy. And if you want to read about them, there's lots of commentaries on just each little detail on these pillars. Well, anyway, they named them. And then he also made these seas, or basically basin, this one sea or basin that held either 10,000 up to 17,000 gallons of water. They're not sure exactly how big. And that was for the priests to wash their hands. And then he made 12 bowls for the sea to rest on. Big flag, red flag here. These bowls, some people say, are a graven image. Remember that golden calf? Other people say, no, it's just a sign of strength, and there's nothing hidden, no hidden meaning there. I'll let you decide. Also, Hiram made 10 movable stands, 10 bronze basins. These basins were used to wash certain parts of the sacrifice, certain parts of the animal. I don't really get all that. And he made other basin shovels and sprinkling bowls. So basically, he did a lot of work on the bronze for the temple, and did a good job. So Solomon brings everything into the temple. This is the Feast of the Tabernacles. It's called Ethanim, and they bring everything to the temple. They have this big sacrifice, men only, and the priests consecrated themselves, and they have this big musical production. And Solomon, this is a big deal. It's very opulent, but it's meant to glorify God. That was the intention, is we're going to make the best temple to show all these other people that our God is God. So they had the ark brought up from a tent in Jerusalem. So if you follow the ark, it's been all over the place. And so David had it in a tent there in Jerusalem. And at this point, only Moses' tablets were there. Originally, the staff of Aaron and a jar of manna were there. Nobody knows what happened to those. Again, this ark has been all over the world. Well, not all over the Mideast, and it could have gone missing at any time. And so they have this big sacrifice, and then the priest left the holy place, and the cloud filled the temple. And so much so that the priest could not work. And this is the glory of God entering the temple. Now, there's lots of speculation on whether God wanted this temple, whether God wanted this temple in Jerusalem, whether God wanted this ornate temple. But the fact was, after the temple was built and the sacrifices were made there, God did enter the temple in the form of this cloud. So Solomon praises God for keeping his promises. And 1 Kings 8, verses 20 and 21, and I know you probably skimmed it, but you might want to go back and read that, because to me this is kind of the beginning of Solomon's downfall. Well, we've already talked about his use of slave labor, but he has a lot of I's in here. I did this, and I did that, and I provided this temple, and I made sure it was great. And we need to focus on the fact that God gave him the resources to do that. God blessed David so that Solomon would have a successful reign. And God gave Solomon the wisdom to choose the outline of this temple and the people to work on it. So again, it's not all about Solomon, but at this point, Solomon seems to kind of think that it might be. That's the lesson for today. It's not all about you.